like a
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger, I'm a threat. I'm a
Nope.
Y'all tell anybody I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
He's crackhead in the town.
Peanut butter and crackling.
He kicked his habit back in the joint. Now he's out of coins.
Here I come!
He's finally home. He's Tyrone.
One of these days, we will actually begin this show with a clip that makes sense.
Oh my god, that shit makes me laugh. I'm sorry, Alexis.
It's not. I'm not against Dave Chappelle's comedy. I'm just saying I prefer clips that actually, make sense to the theme of what we're talking about.
Yeah, I see how that concept could be logical.
But this is Jeff. This is Jeff we're talking about. So
yeah,
anything with Jeff,
there you go.
Goes out. Logical goes out the window.
Very true. Welcome to MCU'S Bleeding Edge, folks. I'm your moderator, Alexis, with Honeysuckle Rose Creations. As with us, as always, is Mr. Jeff, who has way too much fun finding memes and inserting them and making me just rub between my eyes repeatedly. We also have another one of our returning guests, Jeff Bowman. How you doing, man?
What's up? Y'all doing all right?
All right. Glad to have you back. Glad we haven't scared you off yet. And for his first time tonight, the host of Stuck in My Mind, Wilfredo. How's it going, man?
What's going on? How everybody doing today?
We're good.
I've actually been on. I've been on Bleeding Edge
twice.
Okay.
He's been on twice, but he was on like way when we first started, when it was just me.
Oh, okay. My mistake. I misunderstood what you guys were saying.
No. Alexis, it's my fault. I didn't tell you. It's my fault.
Mm-hmm. All right. It's all good. So, yes, apparently we didn't scare him off either. So, credit to us. All right. We got a couple of geeky things to talk about tonight. We're going to start off with, actually, they just dropped the trailer for the new Halo series. This is premiering on Paramount Plus. Jeff S., I'm going to throw this to you on the grounds that I actually never played Halo. And as I don't have Paramount Plus, I will not be watching the series. So you go ahead and show us the trailer.
I can't wait. I'm excited. None of us have seen it. Wilfredo hasn't seen it. Jeff hasn't seen it. I haven't seen it. But first, we have to go ahead
I played it, but it was a long, long time ago.
Oh, well, we got to make sure that we go ahead and take care of supporting women's sports. There we go. That's how we do it on the Bleeding Edge, baby. Supporting women's sports every day.
Just play the trailer, Jeff.
You. Humanity's best weapon. Master Chief, huh?
The Master Chief was enhanced and trained for one purpose: to win this war. He and the other Spartans are our only effective weapons against the Covenant. He is lethal, upgradable, and most importantly, controllable.
Covenant forces appear to be excavating some kind of object. When I touched the object, I felt something. I felt different.
What they did to us makes you numb.
And you just decided to help me. Why would a Spartan do that?
What does one do with a superhuman you're not sure you can trust?
Hello, Master Chief. I'm Cortana.
Master Chief recovered something.
Sacred ring. Halo.
Humans. Surrender to the Covenant.
Cortana, I'm gonna need you now. Find the Halo. Win the war.
Yo, fucking A, man. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that trailer looks good.
Man, I'm telling you right now. But I mean, Alexis, I'll just jump in quick and like go around the table and whatnot. I mean, Alexis, I'm sure even though you don't know the whole premise of Halo, there must have been something with that like you took from it and whatnot. Like, I mean, you must at least have an opinion. Did it seem cool to you at least? Like,
It did. I was looking up the cast. We got Pablo Schreiber, who's going to be playing Master Chief. This guy's been in a couple of different things. He's mostly known for a role on The Wire. In American Gods, Orange is the New Black, and he had a reoccurring role. I actually know this guy he had a recurring role on Law & Order SVU where he just played the most deranged sociopath. Like, yikes, he was scary. So, kind of cool seeing him now playing Master Chief. That is pretty neat.
yeah. Wilfredo, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, I don't know, because I'm a PlayStation guy, so Halo is more Xbox. I played it growing up, but it's been years, man. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah, that's me too. I'm the same way. I'm a PS guy.
But I mean, how do you feel about it? Like, now that we finally fucking have something, like after all these years and everything and whatnot, and all the times that they tried to do the movie and whatnot, and like they tried to do a show and whatnot, like they're finally doing it.
You know what? I would probably be more excited if they made a Destiny movie, honestly, again, a show. But I don't know. I'm excited. It looks real good. It looks like it's a lot of action and good storyline. So we'll see. I don't have Paramount Plus, so like it's just like that's I have a lot of streaming services, so Paramount Plus is not one of them.
Well, I have Paramount Plus only because of Mark Rutledge. So like that's it. You can blame him for me having Paramount Plus. Alexis understands. You know, but what do you think, Jeff? What were your thoughts on the Halo trailer?
It's going to have a lot of combat action in it, man. It looks like it kind of almost looks like crap. What was the movie that Chris Pratt was in that was on
The Tomorrow War?
Yeah.
It reminds me of that a lot from just the trailer. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be good. I mean, I don't know all of the characters. I'll have to get familiar with the characters, you know, because it's kind of like The Matrix was, you know, when I went back to watch that movie. It's going to take me a minute to get familiar with all the characters again.
Well, I read the books. Like I did. Like
I never did any of that.
Yeah, I read all the books. So and they're good. So like I know the whole lore, I know the whole story and everything and whatnot. I know who the characters are. Cortana is like the AI that like you know, inhibits like his suit and everything and whatnot and talks to him and like gives him tactical strategies and stuff like that and whatnot, like while he's fighting and shit like that and whatnot. And she's modeled after the woman with the blonde hair. That's Dr. Halsey. She's the scientist that actually ran the program where when like Master Chief was a child with all these other children, like they trained them militarily and made them into superhuman people, like through experimentation and shit. Like that's how Master Chief like manifested, like where where he came from. They stole children from like their parents and gave them like copies of their children.
Oh.
Yes. that's where Master Chief came from. That's how he started. And they trained them from like age 4, 5, 6 up into like what they become. You know, like, but basically, I mean, hey, there's not much really to say about it. At the end of the day, it looked really cool. It's very authentic to the games, and I think it looks exciting. I think that for people out there who maybe are at like a place like Wilfredo or Jeff, where you know that they haven't really like fucked with Halo for a long time and whatnot, I think you'll still get into it and dig it. And then honestly, Alexis, I think people out like on your like angle, where you really don't know anything about Halo, I think you'll still end up probably at some point watching it. You'll probably like it.
Like I said, it does look interesting, and credit that it looks like they've thrown all of their money into the CGI budget, because those effects do look incredible. I know that, like I said, I haven't played Halo. I have seen people playing Halo. Fun story. When I was in college, this was when late high school, early college is when Halo came out, and I was a school photographer, and I was sent to cover the opening of, it was one of those new video game cafes that were just then becoming all the rage. And for opening night, they had a huge big screen TV playing. They had Halo hooked up, and they had a bunch of people playing it. And I snapped a couple pictures, and the one that they chose to go with the article for the school newspaper in college was of these 4 dudes playing Halo, and I kid you not, this was their face.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's just like all 4 of them look like that in the picture, and I was like, I didn't intend for them to look like complete idiots, but that's just the way it works.
Well, I just want to know.
They were not happy with us.
I haven't researched this at all. I'd like to know how the hell this ended up on Paramount Plus at the end of the day. Like, just because for years and years and years, they've been trying to make something out of Halo. Last I knew, Starz was producing the series. Now all of a sudden it's on Paramount Plus. It's a big get for Paramount Plus. Like, honestly, it really helps them out a lot, because they don't really have that many like high value shows.
Let's see here. Production. Yeah, went through development hell. There was originally supposed to be released. Spielberg was supposed to be originally a producer on this.
Yeah, Spielberg.
It's supposed to be released in 2015. Then it got changed to 2009 and 2020.
Oh, it's been a saga, Alexis. It's been going on for like 15 years.
Let's see here. In 2018, Showtime was given a 10-episode order. Hey, pretty girl.
Oh, Showtime. Okay, not Starz.
Yeah. But then in February 24th, 2021, the series was moved from Showtime to Paramount Plus. Showtime president Gary Levine said that the show was an outlier for the company's brand and a, quote, big, broad tentpole show. Blah. So it was a better fit on Paramount service. So there's your answer.
There you go. Thank you, Alexis. All right, well, hey, that's all I've got for Halo. So, I mean, if you want to go ahead and get into Boba Fett, just let me know when you want me to go ahead and start dropping those promo trailers, and I will.
All right, well, before we do, does anyone have any other comments they want to drop about either Halo, or is there anything that they want to say before we get in to discussing episode 4, The Gathering Storm?
I'm ready.
No, I'm good.
All right. Rock and roll, Jeff. Let's play the trailer.
Awesome.
I am not a bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise. I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer. Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please, speak freely. I am not a bounty hunter. I've heard otherwise. I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer. Jabba ruled with fear.
Wrong one.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
Jabba the Hutt once sat upon that throne. You all accrued wealth and riches under Jabba. You can again with this man, Boba Fett.
What prevents us all from killing you?
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
I'm the crime lord now.
I was saying, it's like, so how long is he going to play that new trailer or play the trailer again before he realizes what happened?
It was an accident. I got confused when I took the trailers from YouTube. I thought that I was picking up like a second promo teaser trailer or something like that, but all it was like another version of the official trailer. So my bad.
It's all good. All right, so episode 4, The Gathering Storm. This one, our two main focuses are on the memory of when Boba and Fennec Shand first joined forces to recover Boba's ship from Bib Fortuna, and the meeting with the crime lords about the coming war. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the memory. We've been splitting the series into two storylines. One has been memories while Boba's been in the Bacta tank. The other has been what is his present day as he is trying to assert his right as the crime lord. So we see the first time he finds Fennec Shand. She is wounded from her fight with Din Djarin, aka the Mandalorian. He takes her to a Mos Eisley mod parlor. Now, we had seen these kind of modifications on the Power Rangers from episode 3, as I affectionately call them, because with those multicolored speeder bikes, I don't know how else we're supposed to approach that. Tell me I'm not the only one that saw episode 3, saw them on the multicolored bikes. I'm like, sweet, sweet God, go Power Rangers.
No doubt.
What'd you say?
I said, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, guys. It looked way too, I don't know if it looked too hokey Saban or it looked too, kids, look what you can buy for Christmas kind of a thing. So.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. We talked about it on Wednesday with with Cyber and whatnot and everything. Mm-hmm. How in episode 3, the speeders and everything and whatnot, like that chase scene, I didn't like it at all. I thought it didn't even look good.
It wasn't a great chase scene. It was, I mean, I hate to say it, something about the speeder that the Major Domo was in and the speeder bikes, they did not look like they were going that fast. So it really wasn't that much of a high-speed chase. Again, the individual colored bikes looked very childish.
It was like a Keystone Cops episode or something.
Very much. I think at one point when he hits the fruits, I think when he hits the fruit stand at the end, I actually through my arms. I'll be like, they got all the cliches.
Yeah.
Because I swear to God, how many of us were thinking like that scene from Wayne's World? Where I think it's Wayne's World or Wayne's World 2, when it's like, oh, so we're just make sure we're stacking all these melons and chickens. It's like, oh, so you're selling melons? Nope, we're just making sure that we're stacking them, and then these guys are going to walk this pane glass back and forth. It's just, what else? What else was the fruit there except to be hit during a chase scene, right, Cleo? Yep, I'm telling the truth. All right, so like we'd seen these the mods on these kids beforehand. They all had little cybernetic implants or replacements on their body types. So evidently, this was something that Boba Fett known for, because he takes Fennec to the mod parlor, brings her in, and I love it. He's just like, this woman's dying. I don't care. Throws down the money. You didn't start with that. Fixes her up, puts those. I still don't really know how those gears and those pumps and everything in her stomach work to save her life, per se. It just doesn't look like they really match up. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
It looked like a bunch of stuff just putting in her stomach to me.
Yeah, it just looked very much so like the props department had too much fun with that. Wilfredo, what did you think of the modification parlor?
Well, I enjoyed the part where he did drop the money. He goes, "Oh, we should have led with that." That was, to me, it was just, it was funny. But it just seemed like it was too much. It was just, I don't know exactly what they were going for with that. It just didn't. I thought it was just too much. Maybe they didn't have to add all those gears and all, maybe so.
Yeah, I guess I look at the way the gears are moving. I'm like, so where are her normal organs then? It just looks like the way it's moving, her entire torso should be, mechanical, I guess. All right. So, but yes, we have the flashback where he saves her life and he says, I want your help. I want you to help me go get my ship back. Now, this was actually a point that I did want to bring up. For decades now, Boba Fett's ship was known as the Slave One. This is what it was called when the movie first debuted. This is what has always been on the merchandise and the lore. They have changed that. Apparently, Slave is no longer PC, and it is now called the Fire Spray. I want to know what you guys think about the change. I want to know what you guys think. Jeff Bowman, why don't you go ahead and start? What are your thoughts on the switching the name?
Oh, it didn't bother me switching the name. I mean, I did at first. I thought that it was called the Slave One when I first, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, why did, I don't remember being called that. But then when I researched it out, I saw why they had changed it. But I liked that whole scene. I mean, I enjoyed the whole thing of them going into the palace and getting his ship back. Mm-hmm. It was just, the whole thing was funny. My favorite part was probably the droids, them creeping in the chef droid, and then the small little, the lep droid or the lead droid, whatever it was called, that was running all over the place. It reminded me of a cat, but that was cool and it was funny. But the mod parlor, I thought that was so cool, because I was like, man, what if we really had something like that, like where if you got hurt in a car wreck or whatever, somebody, you could go to a mod parlor and they put a bunch of stuff in your hurt area and you're back to normal. But I wonder if she was like partially mechanical, and maybe that, getting shot in the stomach, it fried the circuitry or the mechanical part, and so he was replacing that with the new parts.
That is a thought.
I don't know. I was just wondering, because I was like, because I'm like everybody else. I'm like, I don't understand how that saved her life, because I don't know what it hooked up to. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because like where it showed where she was shot, it looked like in her stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious if she might have been a mod already, and that fried the mechanics, and he was replacing those parts. But then again, it may not be. But I like that part, and like I said, I enjoyed them sitting around and talking, and how he made the proposal to her. Mm-hmm. I thought that was cool. I like those throwback scenes like that, though.
I will tell you, if those parlors existed in real life, I know way too many steampunk enthusiasts who would be going in. It's like, just chop off my arm and give me something else.
Yeah.
We all know people. We've been to enough Comic Cons. We all know people who would do that. Wilfredo, your thoughts?
Excuse me.
Please don't choke. We're not worth it.
Went down the wrong track.
I've been there many times. I understand. Like I said, we're not worth dying over. So
it was cool. Just the scene, the droid scene was hilarious, especially the rat catcher, and when he goes, "Who do you know who I am?" He goes, "Boba Fett," and the droid just kills him, just basically shuts himself off.
Okay, quick question though. I got it because I'm sorry you do bring that up. This was actually something that people were talking about on Twitter. Did the droid kill himself, or did he just switch himself off to be turned on? What do you guys think?
I think he probably just shut himself off.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. He turned himself off.
Yeah, he's like, someone else will turn me back on later. Click. There was actually a point of contention on Twitter that people were saying they thought that the droid had like committed suicide. And they were just like, why did the droid do that? It's like, guys, I think he can be reactivated later. But a lot of people were very freaked out. And I have a Labrador scratching my back. Cleo, do you mind? This dog's insane. All right. Will, you want to talk about your thoughts about renaming the ship?
I don't really have a thought on it. That doesn't really bother me. It's the way it is nowadays with people get offended quickly. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't really make a difference to me. It is not like it's gonna the naming of the ship, the changing of the name of the ship is really gonna affect how I really enjoy it. If it's written good and so far I've enjoyed all the episodes I've seen. So.
All right, Jeff S., you want to any thoughts on either the mod parlor or the name change?
I don't really have anything on the name change. I mean, I didn't really feel like I have any really opinions on it, to tell you the truth. But as far as the mod thing goes, after listening to like everybody else talk about it and everything and whatnot, I can honestly say that like you know, I would still like throw down with you know, Theta Cha, or whatever the fuck her name is, Fen La, whatever. I can't pronounce. Fennec. I would still throw down with Fennec, even with like the metal guts and shit. I don't care, man. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that chick looks good as hell for 58 years old, bro. She's slamming.
Ming
you know what I'm saying?
Is a very attractive woman.
I'm telling you right now.
Very talented.
You know, if I end up with a woman at some point later on, like in life and whatnot, and I'm with her until she's 58 years old and she looks like that chick, I'm gonna be feeling good, bruh. But no, it just was like all like fucking sloppy and like slapped together and shit. Like, you're supposed to just believe that like this like you know, like amateur freaking like, you know, looking you know, half-ass robotic shit or whatever is supposed to be fixing her up and whatnot and everything, and like it looked cheap to me. Like, it didn't even look good. Like, visually, like, it looked cheap to me. You know, like, it made no sense. You know what I mean? Like, you know, how like any of that worked. I don't think that like she actually had any metal parts in her. She got hurt. And, like, he brought her in there to get the metal parts to save her life. I just felt like kind of, it was very unclimactic.
Yeah. I swear to God, I'm listening. I'm just trying to prevent this dog from eating my arm. She's a little antsy tonight. All right, so yeah, we got the so they go in, they get the ship. We actually get some pretty decent action bits as they're sneaking around Jabba's palace, or Bib Fortuna's palace. I don't really know exactly what they're calling it right then. They do get the fire spray back, and we get more of their discussion and Boba Fett telling Fennec how he's going to take over and outline the territories. And I really like the discussion they have, because she talks about, he mentions living with the Tuscans, and Fennec says, living with the Tuscans has made you soft. And he says, no, it's made me strong, because I've realized you only get so far without a tribe. And I really like that mentality, because both bounty hunters are not people who, stick together. They're very much it's like, look out for number one kind of mentality that's always been, the way they're presented in fiction. So I really like this idea of Boba Fett, just the way that this being with the Tuscans has changed his mentality the way it has. And I love that character growth for that, because it really does now explain why he's decided to step away like he has from the business that he has spent his whole life a part of.
Alexis, if you don't mind me jumping in really quick just for a second, I wouldn't mind posing a question to Wilfredo and Jeff. And that would be just like, do you agree with me that, like, for me, I feel like all the stuff that happened with, like, Boba and the Tuscans has been my favorite part of the show. What do you think, Will?
Actually, it's kind of I actually enjoy. You can see the growth in Boba as a person, and that's what's kind of, because me, my podcast is about self-development and self-growth and all that, and to see when he says that line about it made him stronger because he had a tribe. That applies to real life now. It applies to the things we do now. Is like, yes, you can be successful on your own, but you can be much more successful when you have an awesome team or tribe or a village behind you.
Hey, well, I think that, like, in a way, that kind of connects to content creation, because I know for me, I never would have gotten where I'm at and whatnot with, like, my YouTube channel and my podcast and whatnot, if not for all of, like, the freaking tons and tons of people who have, like, grinded out these shows with me and whatnot and everything. I'm whatever by myself, but without all them, like, I'd be incomplete. So I feel you on that. But Jeff, what do you think about all the shit with the Tuscans?
I enjoyed every bit of that stuff with the Tuscans, man. It needed to be brought out because, we needed to know, how he got where he is now. But I like seeing how it taught him all of, what he needed to learn and where he is now. And he's applied a lot of that, so yeah, it was a critical part of the show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we'll find out why later on down the road, but it was important to see that. And I enjoyed him talking about that, but I'm glad that they included him in there, so it was important. I mean, it still is important.
So we also get a little bit of them returning to the Sarlacc pit to try to get. They think there's still a chance that Boba's armor is in there, and this, of course, is a contradiction from the first episode. But I think the idea is that he was so out of it when he got back out of the pit the first time that he has no remembrance of the Jawas stripping him clean, as it were. Yeah, well, what was the line? I'm trying to remember what was the line from the podcast when we discussed the first episode. The approach to the Jawas. Oh, aren't they cute? Hey, where's my wallet? So that's the reason I'm thinking that he thinks that the armor is still in the Sarlacc pit. Kind of freaky, though, for them to actually go back in, even though they're protected in the ship, but still, that is just freaky as hell. It's like, I don't know, I'm having flashbacks to seeing the Meg. It's like, and here's the ship, and now the ship is in the mouth of the shark. I gotta tell you, even after she kills that thing with the seismic charge, I cannot believe Boba had the guts to go back into that thing. It's like, I would never set foot a million miles anywhere near that damn thing ever again.
No.
So any other thoughts about the scene with the Sarlacc? Jeff B?
Yeah.
Jeff S., you want to go first?
Yeah, no, if you don't mind, just real quick. It just was really cool. Like, I mean, when the other Sarlacc or whatever popped up and like attacked the ship and everything and whatnot, I liked that. Like I thought that was really interesting. It was cool seeing the ship fight against it and whatnot and everything. And just the whole concept of the Sarlacc pit is really cool, man. That's it. You know what I mean? It's just really it's a really cool concept.
It is really cool. Jeff B, any thoughts on the scene with the
Scared
Sarlacc?
the crap out of me. I jumped out of the couch. I jumped off the couch when that thing reached out and grabbed the ship. I mean, it startled me. I wasn't expecting it. I knew it was going to happen. I just wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it. It was a great part of the show, but I'm like Jeff. It's just awesome to think that's sitting out in the middle of the desert just waiting. There's no telling what's in that thing's stomach.
Absolutely.
No telling how many years worth of people and things are in there. And if it's willing to eat a ship, just think about it. I mean, it literally was pulling that thing and all those teeth in there. I mean, that was just awesome. Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Definitely.
But it startled the hell out of me when it first happened. I knew it was going to happen. You know how it's going to happen? You can't prepare for it. That it did. I loved that part.
Yeah. Did love Fennec being a badass when she launched the seismic charge, actually going fire in the hole and dropping that thing in there. Just like very action movie-ish. I love that.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Will, what did you think?
Well, so that was a baby, right? It wasn't the original one where he fell in. That was the original hole he fell in, but what was inside seemed like a baby.
I think it was the same Sarlacc. I think that was just the Sarlacc's mouth retreated. I could be wrong, but because from whatever I may be completely 100% wrong, but I distinctly remember hearing that Sarlaccs reproduce by spores. That they launch spores, and then a spore falls away and lands in somewhere else in the sand and starts growing there. Could be wrong, but that's what I remember reading.
But it was a good scene. Just like Jeff, just like the other guys, I kind of jumped when it jumped out at him. So it was cool. I thought it was fun. It's so well written because they interject so much comedy into it, and you don't really realize it. Especially when after she dropped the seismic bomb, and Boba goes, "Yeah, don't touch any of my buttons again."
That was a good bit. All right, so moving on from that, we get our moment that is in the current timeline, and that is the sit-down dinner with the crime bosses. So Boba has accumulated the local crime bosses who previously served under Jabba, and he tells them originally that he wants them to work with him, and they say no. And then they say, so what's to stop us from just killing you? That scene that has been played in every single trailer. And of course, from this episode 3, we know what he's got. He has himself a brand new Rancor. And anyone else love just he says that, and then the Rancor growls and shakes the table, and it's like, that's why, bitch. Again, so action movie cliche, but it's so much fun. The timing on that line was perfect. So the crime lords say, okay, fine, we're not going to align with you, but we will remain neutral. We're not going to align with the Pikes. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about that scene. Jeff S., you want to start talking about the scene with the crime lords? What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton. They're honestly, Alexis, some of these scenes are just. I feel like there wasn't a lot of intrinsic aspects going on, like for me to really get deep into. You know what I mean? I felt like it was really cool that like the Rancor or whatever got involved and shit and everything. I thought that was cool. That like Boba Fett's incorporated him like into his shit, and I enjoyed the episode. I guess it was the last episode 3, where he first gets to the Rancor and whatnot, and you find out it has emotions and everything, and it's like a pet, like that was cool. It's cool seeing Boba like doing his business, like as a crime lord and shit like that. Everybody loves crime lords, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like the mafia, man. Everybody loves Godfather. You know what I mean? Like, everybody loves like crime bosses. They're cool, man.
Yeah, I think it's actually fair to call this the Godfather scene of this series. Yeah. And no, I understand where you're coming from. It's just that unlike episode 2 where I hosted, I don't have a lot of moments where I can compare this to something like Lawrence of Arabia. So to keep the discussion going, I got to ask about the scenes.
Of course.
All right. Will, any thoughts on the scene with the crime lords?
I just thought you just get to, it's funny because when you see the clips and all that and how they cut different scenes, and then when you really get to see the scene, it was nothing like, because in one of the scenes they show him sitting on the throne and doing all that stuff, and none of that happened in that scene. They were all really just sitting at that table.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool when they did question, yeah, what is going to prevent us from taking whatever we want right now? And when the beast just grabbed the cage and rattled it, and everybody just jumped up. Oh, that was really dope.
It was. Jeff B, any thoughts?
Oh yeah, I dug it. I completely dug that scene, him sitting at the table and him laying it out what his expectations are. Now he wasn't expecting a tribute. He just wanted them to give up their loyalty, and just be loyal. I loved how they set it up though before that with Santo in the little club. How he was in there and he beat up the guys that they were winning at the gambling tables, and the whole time he's sitting there, and he's already getting just tore up and angrier watching them win, and then eventually he just comes unglued.
I can't believe I forgot about that scene. Yeah, that's a great.
Yeah, and they set it up because they let us know then that Santo has a chip on his shoulder, so he's looking for something. So Boba's there, and so now he's got. So now we know that Santos is going to be canon, so we know he's going to be around. And then they go into that scene at the table with all of them there, and I just thought it was just a perfect mafia scene, to be sitting there. And then of course they get smart with him, and they're like, what's to say that we just don't go ahead and kill you now, and turn on you and kill you now. And then next thing you know, the Rancor shows signs. Everybody thought it was gone. Nobody knew that the Hutts had brought that to him. I just thought that was great. But yeah, knowing that Santos, we talked about it the other night, but knowing that they're canon now, that's just great. It's great knowing that they're going to be characters.
I do love how the scene with Santos is set up all the way.
Yeah,
well, it's not said, but it's such a great callback to that line from episode 4. What happens when a Wookiee loses? He tears your arms out of your sockets. What happens to the Trandoshans when Santos loses? He pulls their arm out of the socket. Yep. And I just love the head of the cantina. She's like, okay, look, she's placating his ego. Just like, you are so great. You are a wonderful warrior. And then she's trying to calm him down. And finally she's like, okay, look, just don't do anything and I'll wipe your debt clean. How about that? Even that's not enough to save him.
Well,
no, he made sure to get he was going to get an arm before he was home.
Yeah, it's just, go ahead.
It took me a minute to realize that was a childhood crush of mine. Miss Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
So
Miss Flashdance herself.
Yes, herself. Yes, Miss Flashdance herself. So it was great to see her in something. So
yeah,
absolutely.
It was good to see Jennifer Beals.
Yep.
So the episode ends with the crime lords departing, claiming they're going to stay neutral. Whether or not they will agree to that, we shall see. And Fett and Fennec saying that they need to hire more muscle. And as Fennec says, we can get more muscle if you know where to look, you hear a familiar tune played underneath, which I do believe was the Mandalorian theme, hinting at who's going to be coming in the next episode. All right. Jeff S., you want to give any last thoughts on this before we move on? Any more thoughts on this episode?
No, I'll be honest with you. I really don't have much else to say about it, to tell you the truth. I'm excited to go ahead and watch the DC teaser trailer.
All right, Jeff B., Will, either of you have any more thoughts on episode 4 before we move on to what's next on the docket?
I'm actually no. I'm actually probably tomorrow. I'll probably finish watching the rest of it. So
Me too, Will. I'm watching the last episode tomorrow.
All right.
I
Jeff
just
B.
love how it set us up. It's setting us up for something big. I love how it ended with the Mando theme and them standing out there in front of the fortress. It's setting us up for something big. You knew it was coming.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I love the ending of it.
All right, so then I think we've talked enough about that. We're going to move on. DC dropped today what we affectionately call a sizzle reel. I think a lot of us can agree this was probably supposed to be aired on Super Bowl Sunday, and I don't know if it got leaked on purpose, but either way, this is a quick look at 4 films that DC is releasing this year: The Batman, Black Adam, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and The Flash. I don't know a lot about the plot yet for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom or Black Adam, but we do know that the Flash film is going to essentially be an adaptation of Flashpoint, which was, I would say, probably one of the most important comic storylines of the last 10 years. Wait, did this come out in 10 years? Yeah, 2011. Okay, good. I don't sound like a complete idiot. You guys do know about Flashpoint, right?
yes,
Yeah.
I watched Flash the regular series, so yes.
Yeah, Flash the TV series, otherwise known as this is the season we call Damn It, Barry. That was my reoccurring jokes. Like, what did Barry do this time? All right, so Jeff, do you want to go ahead and pull up in that sizzle reel?
I'd be more than happy to.
Who are you under there? What are you hiding?
My son dreamt of a better world. That's why he saved me.
You can go to any timeline, any universe. Why'd fight to save this one?
What could be greater than a king? A hero.
I just got goosebumps. If we don't stand up, no one will.
Come with us. There's a glorious world out there, waiting for you.
Are you in?
All right. Now, I don't think we have to talk anymore about the Batman footage because I'm like 90% certain everything that we just saw from that we have seen in previous trailers. But I will go and ask, who's already bought their tickets?
I haven't bought my tickets yet. No.
I forgot.
I was going to say,
I haven't bought them yet.
say, Jeff S., you're the biggest Batman fanatic I know. You honestly haven't bought your tickets yet?
Yeah, I am surprised by that.
Well, Alexis, I've told you a bunch of times now, like, every time I've gone to the theater to watch one of the Marvel movies that's come out in 2021 or whatever, I'm telling you right now, like, the most people I've seen in my local theater for anything was Spider-Man 3. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe half the theater was full for like Spider-Man 3 on opening night or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like all the other stuff, Black Widow, the Eternals, Shang-Chi, there was like maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people max in like the whole theater. So I don't have to worry about getting my tickets. Like if I wait a month and then order them, I can still get like the opening night tickets or whatever. They'll be available.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and talk about the other movies that we see. Firstly, we're going to talk about Black Adam. I think it's arguable we could probably see most from that one. We got to look at some of the other characters that we're going to get in that, which frankly looks amazing. We see Atom Smasher, we see Cyclone, we see Hawkman, we see Dr. Fate. First of all, Hawkman, the wings, oh my god, that looked incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, feel free to jump in here, guys.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm excited to see Pierce Bronson.
Yeah.
That was a good choice to play Dr. Fate. I really like that. And again, he looks amazing too. Really like that. Although I'm not going to lie, I did kind of have my fingers crossed that we were going to get Oded Fehr because he voices Dr. Fate in the Justice League series. And I thought he would actually be a really good live action Dr. Fate as well. But Pierce Brosnan, I can live with. I think he's going to play a very good role. We got to see a little bit of Atom Smasher running through the past all those the buildings, showing his full size, which is really cool. We don't really we see a bit of Cyclone, but we don't see her powers as of yet. So we're probably going to get a little bit more out of that. But yeah, we don't have much on the plot yet for this. Has anyone heard anything much about what we're going to get for Black Adam?
Black Adam? Oh man, I know. The Justice League is going to play a big part in it because I know at one point they had recruited Black Adam, and
it's something about Justice Society or something.
Yeah,
the Justice Society of America, the JSA.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you think this is going to be about Black Adam's origins and his interactions with the JSA?
Yes.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I may be the least knowledgeable Black Adam.
I'm not knowledgeable at all on Black Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going into Black Adam wide open. I really have no clue. Like, I probably will spend a couple minutes and at least try to like understand his origin story and stuff like that before I see the film. But like, I never read the comics or anything like that and whatnot. I didn't read much DC when I was a kid. I read some Superman once in a while. I used to read Batman once in a while. And like the Justice League, you know what I'm saying? And like that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I read more Marvel, but as far as cartoons, I would say DC had probably more cartoons. Like they had the Justice League, they had Batman, they had a whole bunch of different. It was to me Super Friends and all this other stuff.
Will,
yeah.
I read more Dark Horse and like shit. What were the other popular other comic book Image? You know what I mean? Like, I read all that like over DC. You know what I mean? Like I was reading Spawn and shit like that back in the day. And Sin City and everything and whatnot, which is crazy.
DC's always been real strong on their animated movies. Their animated movies are just unbelievable.
Well, it's cool.
For some reason, when they cross over to the Warner Brothers movies, they choke.
No, most definitely, Jeff.
I'm thinking these latest. I don't know why. I think these latest ones is a step up.
I hope. For their sake, I hope.
Yeah, because I think the Batman looks real good.
Because they destroyed Aquaman. They completely destroyed Wonder Woman in '84.
I was so upset with Wonder Woman 1984.
That was so disappointing.
I'm never going to watch it. I've already decided I'm done. I'm never going to watch it.
Well, the interesting thing with Black Adam is that, in a way, I think it's kind of it's the same story that we got with Woody Harrelson with Carnage.
Isn't Black Adam associated with Shazam?
Yes. He is the arch enemy of Shazam.
Yes.
Now,
okay, that's what I was thinking.
See, here's the thing. DC and Warner Brothers have been kicking around doing a Shazam movie forever, like since the early 2000s. And at one time, Dwayne Johnson was actually considered to play Shazam again. And it looked like around 2007, talks had started to fall through, but Johnson had said he was also interested in playing Black Adam, which if you've read the comics, you could see Dwayne Johnson playing the role very, very well. So like I said, I think it's very similar to Carnage, where Jeff, you and I joked about this when we talked about Venom 2, that the idea was that probably somebody said before they even cast Tom Hardy as Venom, they said, well, when we get to Carnage, we know we'll get Woody Harrelson. It's like, yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. And I think it's the same thing, is that when they finally started getting the talks ready to go for Shazam, it's like, well, when we get to Black Adam, we know we got Dwayne Johnson. They're like, yeah, but we're not doing Black Adam to start off with. So this was something that has been in the books and they've been wanting to do for well over 10 years now. So it's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, this is something that not only the fans have been wanting, Dwayne Johnson has been actively campaigning for this. He has wanted this role for a long, long time.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Yeah, okay. But it's really fun to see something like this that so many people have wanted finally coming to fruition. Because, yeah, I really do think Dwayne Johnson will be a very good Black Adam. He's a very talented actor, no question. And I think he's going to play this role really well. And again, this is something that I am excited to see after so much time. So let's go ahead and talk about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Again, I am not getting any information on this.
That's the first I even heard anything about it.
Yeah, we haven't even got news on who is going to be the villain yet. I'm on the Wikipedia page. The cast so far, they're just saying everyone from the first movie.
Black Manta is going to be in it again.
He is.
Yes.
I'm thrilled about that. I love Yahya Abdul Mateen. He is such a good actor. Loved him in Candyman and the Watchmen TV series. A lot of fun with that. Willem Dafoe's returning. Patrick Wilson is returning as Ocean Master, or just Orm. Ocean Master was just in the comics. We got Randall Park coming back as Dr. Stephen Shin. But yeah, I'm not getting anything on any other character. We got we got an actress named India Moore coming in as a character called Karshan, but I'm not getting anything on that. But yeah, nothing else on the shows on the detail. Kind of surprised they're going ahead with Amber Heard as Mira. There's been a lot of talk online.
Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
And this was what I heard was actually kind of interesting. Because apparently there was actually a clause in her contract that they can't fire her for the extenuating circumstances surrounding her personal life. Despite everything that happened with her and Johnny Depp, they can't fire her for that. So I guess they had no choice but to keep her, because she was probably threatening to sue Warner Brothers if they didn't, put her in the movie. But unless they've reduced her part, we are going to see a lot of people complaining about this film. And I'm calling now, we're going to see protests. We're going to see people saying they're refusing to see this movie now. And Jeff B., what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm surprised they even had her come back in and do the role, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't. Today when I saw the stuff for Aquaman, like I said, that's the first I even heard that they were even doing another movie. I mean, I did know that when they decided that they were going to do a second movie, that Black Manta would be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't heard anything, and I don't know if they kept it hush-hush deliberately, or if that's, just that, I don't know. But hopefully they do a good job on it, because, I mean, they completely tore that first Aquaman up. I was not impressed with it. I liked the version of Aquaman in Justice League, but the movie I wasn't impressed with at all.
See, I disagree. For me. Jeff, I disagree with you, man. I actually thought that fucking Aquaman was halfway decent.
I just didn't think it was worth anything at all. I think they destroyed his origin completely.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay, but the story was very much the hero's story. It wasn't anything new. I enjoyed it based off of the characters and the incredible special effects, but story arc wise wasn't anything interesting. Okay, so there may be something about the villain here.
I grew up on Super Friends on Saturday morning cartoons. So
you don't count Aquaman in that, because Aquaman in the Super Friends cartoons was the equivalent of Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so my expectations for Aquaman, probably wasn't that great to begin with, but I wasn't impressed with that movie. I mean, and I don't know enough about Flash to make a judgment on Flashpoint to say if it's going to be any good or not. But hopefully they'll do a better job with these movies, I hope. I mean,
like I said, I'm doing a little extra work here on Wikipedia, and there is a link to the character called Karshan, which is going to be played by, like I said, by India Moore. Apparently that is linked to a villain in the comic books who's called Shark. tiger shark that rapidly mutated after exposure to nuclear waste, later retconned to be Green Lantern experiments, blah, blah, blah. Rapid evolutionary growth gives him high intelligence, humanoid appearance, and telepathic powers, but leaves him with bloodthirsty shark instincts. Has fought Green Lantern, Superman, Aquaman, Justice League, Black Condor. So Shark may be the villain, and if it is, they're doing a gender swap on that to make the character female. But considering how little this character has apparently been in the comics, I don't think anyone's going to lose any sleep over that. So yeah, let's. The final movie to discuss is The Flash. This is based on Flashpoint. It's of course one of the biggest comic story arcs that came out in the last 2 decades. Story arc is that Barry goes back in time to save his mother's life, and he ends up just destroying everything. There's no other way to put it. Doing this, Barry just ruins everyone's lives. There is no other way to say it. It's like, way to go, Barry. You have just utterly fucked everything up. But what's got everyone excited, and I don't know if you guys could hear the voice, but that was undoubtedly Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, yes. Batman returns. The real Batman returns.
Yes, this is a Batman from a different universe than the one that our Flash is from, because Ben Affleck is going to be in this Flash, apparently. I don't know if they're okay, so in the Flashpoint, Barry teams up with a Batman who is Thomas Wayne. Because in this story arc, in this universe, it's not Thomas and Martha who are shot, it's Bruce who was shot, and his father takes up the mantle of Batman to avenge his son. Now, I don't know if Michael Keaton is playing Thomas Wayne or if this is just another Bruce. They're not being that clear on it, so we haven't seen any footage to say one or the other. We are there has been confirmed that.
I'm thinking it's the Batman from Batman 1988. I honestly think, because I know in one of the scenes with the Flash where he removes the cover off the car, it's the Batmobile from 1988.
Very true. It is confirmed that General Zod and Feora, Michael Shannon, and I can't pronounce her name. I don't know. She played Feora in Man of Steel. These two are coming back. One second, gentlemen. Cleo, get back in here. Sorry, we had a neighbor complaining about her barking lately. We also have Sasha Calle playing Supergirl in this, which I think is going to be interesting. I'm a little confused if we're going to get a lot of what we've seen from Flashpoint, which is the war between the Amazons and the Atlanteans, which I think was a big story. But Gal Gadot and Jason Momoa are not, or Amber Heard for that matter, are not listed in this. So I feel a little disappointed if Flashpoint's not going to have the Amazon-Atlantis war, because that was such a huge part of the story. Anyone who's very familiar with Flashpoint, are there any story arcs that you're really hoping that they will include in this?
Honestly, Alexis, I'm limited. I understand some aspects of Flashpoint and whatnot. I do, but overall, I'm a little bit sketchy with it, just because I'm not really a huge DC fan. So I'm kind of an amateur kind of DC fan, and I think I'm gonna be going into the movie basically kind of like learning as I go,
All right, very true. I'm curious how General Zod and Feora are going to fit into this. It's going to be interesting.
Well, now HBO Max is, DC's is a big part of HBO Max too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now there's a lot of DC stuff on there. There's the Flashpoint Paradox animated movie on there, which is pretty good. And it's, so that got where I know a little bit about what's going on, but I will probably go see the movie just because I don't know anything about, that much about DC. Enough to do a podcast over. I don't know enough about them.
I will go ahead and promote this. If anyone wants to know more about Flashpoint but doesn't have time to actually sit down and read the whole book, there is an online comic book reviewer goes by the name Linkara. He hosts a show called Atop the Fourth Wall. I'm a huge fan of his show, and a lot of times I have gone through his stuff because he doesn't just review bad comics; he also talks about big ones as well. For example, he did a full retrospective on Blackest Night, Brightest Day with the Green Lanterns. I did not have time to review that, so I actually watched his review so I could kind of get the bullet points, as it were. Well, he did this with Flashpoint. So if you guys want to know enough about the comic without having to read the whole stupid thing, I recommend heading over to his channel.
Okay.
What was it called again?
Atop the Fourth Wall.
Okay.
All right, then I think that is everything at this point. Let me just check something here. Oh, this is interesting. The Flash movie is being directed by the guy who did the It movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That is neat.
Andy Muschietti, I think is how his name was pronounced. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wait, is that the same? It's like, yep, that's the guy who gave us It. So, interesting take. Because before that, he did the horror movie Mama. Interesting switch to go from horror movies to Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Alexis. I mean, I'm not that DCU knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't like to try to talk about stuff that I'm really not that into, and I can't, and I don't feel that comfortable with and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, why don't we go ahead and call it, and we'll do our plugs, and we'll get out of here.
I think that sounds like a plan. All right, Wilfredo, you want to tell us about your show?
Yes, you can catch Stuck in My Mind podcast on all major platforms. I'm also on YouTube at Stuck in My Mind podcast. I have an internet radio station, Real Wise Radio. It's www.realwiseradio.com. And I also produce and edit podcasts. So you can check us out at realwiseproductions.com. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Jeff B, you got anything you want to say?
Other than that, I'm a frequent guest on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. And if you need me on any other shows, just give me a holler and I'll jump on board.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Jeff, we're glad to have you, Jeff.
All right. Jeff S., you want to do your plugs before I do mine?
No, I'm going to do you first.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about my personal plugs. Honeysuckle Rose, where fashion meets fandom at the intersection of geek and chic. We're selling handmade jewelry through Etsy and handmade at Amazon. Getting ready to get back on the road here pretty soon. We're going to be stopping off at the Lexington Comic and Toy Show. So excited about that one. Then heading back to Kansas City for Planet Comic-Con. That's our home show. We do that every year. So happy to be going back. Our shops are fully stocked on Etsy and handmade at Amazon. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for any and all updates. And of course, we do love our custom orders. And for those of you who have been enjoying listening to our discussions about Boba Fett, Mandalorian, or the DC upcoming films, well, we have got tons of stuff for all of those fandoms. I'm really excited about a lot of the stuff we have on there. If you are excited about the DC films like I am, be sure to head on over to our shop and check out what we've got. And now on to the plugs that for my other network with the Radulich In Broadcasting Network. Mark Radulich and I just wrapped up a discussion yesterday about Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO Max Season 4 and the Looney Tunes Valentine's Day special and the incredible laziness we're seeing out of these writers after 4 seasons. We're also getting ready for Tripped Up Trivia's show in at the end of this month. The theme is Everything the Dark Knight, and it looks like Will and Jeff S. are going to Cleo, not in the middle of my plugs, dog. Dog just tried to pull me off the screen. Just literally grabbed my wrist and was like, Mom, come on.
She's ready.
You want her, you can have her. Dirt cheap. She's a year old. She's rambunctious. But yes, February's Tripped Up Trivia will be everything revolving around the Dark Knight, getting ready for the Batman film. Will and Jeff are going to be guests on the show. So excited. Can't wait for that. If you're interested in playing on Tripped Up Trivia, but you're not that knowledgeable yet on the Dark Knight, we do have a couple more themes coming up. March is going to be everything wrestling related because we got WrestleMania coming up. April is going to be everything relating to wizards and magic as we got Doctor Strange in the future. And then, of course, May is Sci-Fi Month for May the 4th. If you're interested in playing on any of those shows, go ahead and hit us up. That's the Radulich In Broadcasting Network. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter.
It's all about the footwork.
Why do you fill me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down, and make me around, and then worst of all, you never thought, baby, when you see you.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I'm going to find you a list of memes and clips that actually are relevant to this show. I swear to God.
Okay. You give them to me, Alexis, and I will roll them in, baby. I'll use them.
All right, I think that's everything we got for tonight.
Yes, and I just want to go ahead and really quick just shout out to Cybernetic Shark, my co-host on the MCU'S Bleeding Edge, who's at work right now and whatnot. Hope you're having a good night, brother. And mad love to like the Bandmade fandom, like the USA Bandmade fandom, and like the worldwide Bandmade fandom. You know, I got hella love for all you people. And hey, you know what? Support the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. You know, like we don't mind when you subscribe. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers, you know, and so that we can hit 1,000 and so on and so forth. So like, you know, every single one counts. So hey, take the moment and you know, fucking support us, man. You know what I'm saying? But no, I just want to shout out really quick and say thank you very much to my good friend Wilfredo for coming through and whatnot. I've known Will for a long time, and he's a good dude and good people. And I'll tell you right now, man. You know, it's shit. When I first started making content, like I knew Will, so like I mean that's how long I've been knowing him. But no, thanks for coming on, Will. Jeff B is you know become like a really consistent regular guest for us and whatnot. We really appreciate you, Jeff. And Alexis, thank you so much for moderating these shows, you know, and giving me a break, you know, a little bit, and let me take like, you know, a chill pill and to sit on the panel and whatnot. It's fun. Like Wilfredo was saying, you know, like it kind of frees me up. I can kind of just like talk and chill and whatnot. You know, I don't have to worry about, you know, hosting or whatever and whatnot and everything. And you know, like I said to Alexis earlier tonight when her and I were talking, Alexis, like, you know, earned her spot on the Bleeding Edge. Like she paid her dues. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, to where, you know, she deserved, you know, to be put like elevated and like put into a spot like moderating the hosting and whatnot. And I'm proud to like have her here on the team. I really am. She's a good friend of mine and, you know, very valuable as a guest. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, no problem, Alexis. But shout out to Radulich In Broadcasting Network. Shout out to Podcasting Champions. And hey, peace out, MCU fandom. We'll see y'all later.
Peace out.
Word.
This week, Tyrone gets invited to an intervention.
Oh, you locked the door. Good idea. Hey, okay, Tyrone. Do you know why you're here?
Mm-hmm. I'm here for the same reason you is, man. I want some crack. Crack.
Hey, Tyrone, we are not giving crack away today.
Uh-huh. What?
No.
What time is it?
It's 5 o'clock.
Did I miss a 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
No, Tyrone, these are your friends here. They have something they'd like to say to you.
I've been tricked.
Okay, Tyrone, I'm what is known as an intervention counselor.
Oh!
Yeah, and these people would like to talk to you about your drug use.
What you talking about, man? I don't do drugs. What y'all tell them, huh? Come on, Benedict Arnold.
Okay.
What y'all tell them?
Okay, Rhonda, would you like to go first, class?
This is ridiculous. What is going on in here? We get crack at the end?
Tyrone, you know I love you, but I feel like drugs is hurting you, and they're hurting me. Tyrone, I was very hurt that you carjacked me that time.
What you talking about, Ryder? I would never carjack that ugly-ass car. Get out the car.
Tyrone, what are you doing?
Who's Tyrone? I don't know Tyrone.
No, it's you with your crusty-ass lips.
Stop playing, Ryder. Get out the car. Get out the car. I don't know Tyrone.
Look, the police found you 3 hours later in my car asleep, high on crack.
That's impossible, Rhonda. How can you sleep if you're high on crack? The Chinese riddle for you.
Okay, let's have Jenny and